'Tis the season, of course, for spring cleaning, but before you put that duster away, don't forget to polish up your finances too. With tax day approaching, tariffs rising, and purchase season ahead, Jamie Bauman, branch manager at Affinity Plus, joins us with some advice for navigating these uncertain economic times on this Mindful Monday. Good to see you, Jamie. Definitely, you're high in demand right now, aren't you?
Yes,
there's a lot going on.
It's a busy time.
It is for sure. So, what does a good financial spring cleaning routine look like? What should we be doing?
Great question. I've said it once and I'll say it again. Really digging in and taking a look at your expenses and looking at your budgets, getting in, getting dirty, kind of like clean out that closet or getting into the garden.
Yeah.
Get in, get dirty. It might look a little ugly at first when you dig in, but really making sure that you know what's going on is going to be your best option for that. Also finding somebody who has approachable banking, Affinity Plus, that you have a trusted expert that can help you look at your expenses, look at your income, and see where we can help you save your money or whatever your financial goals are.
Okay, get a little bit of guidance.
Yes,
that would be great.
For those of us that are procrastinators.
Tax day's tomorrow.
Did you know? No, I didn't know that actually. So what tips do you have for us?
Yeah, well, if you didn't know, now you know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Really, if you're waiting until these last couple of days to get your taxes done, the biggest thing is to avoid any scams. Fraudsters and scammers, they know that people are feeling that pressure. And so really, if something seems too good to be true, if there's a, get an extra bonus on your taxes if you sign up with a company, things like that, it's always good to have a certain level of suspicion and finding somebody that you trust to help you do your taxes, whether it be a reputable software that you choose or a neighborhood accountant would be a good place to start.
And if you are really struggling, you can ask for an extension too,
You sure
right?
can. Yep,
okay.
you sure can.
Okay, that's great to know. So we're seeing volatility in the stock market. People are concerned about their 401ks. Maybe people are thinking they need to take everything out of the market.
Yeah.
What's your advice during these volatile times?
Such a great question. People are really feeling that stress right now. So my number one tip would be just to take a deep breath.
Right.
And call a friend, whether that's a trusted expert or somebody who you know that has a really great handle on how they understand the stock market. Everybody's situation is so different. And so when it comes to the stock market, when it comes to your 401ks, really what works for you and I might not work for somebody else, or what works for you and I might not work for Alexandra. So really finding a trusted expert that can lead you through where you are in your retirement lineage, and also whatever your specific goals are, finding somebody to help you make those specific decisions on that 401k would be my best bet for you.
Okay.
And also, there are a lot of folks now that are rushing.
Yeah.
And they're also thinking, hey, what about AI? Let's do that. What do you have for that regard?
AI, same thing. Something to keep in mind is that there's a lot of AI that's helpful out there. There's a lot of AI, however, that could really lead you down a really dangerous territory. So similar to the tax day, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. But just making sure that you're leading with a certain level of suspicion. I don't like to live my life like that. I like to lead trusting, but certainly going in with a certain level of suspicion and just making sure that you're protecting not only your assets, but your information as well.
Right. Okay, good to know there. And so there's been a lot of news about tariffs. How can households create maybe like a tariff-proof budget or something to at least help us alleviate some of these extra costs?
Yeah, tariffs are taxes on imported goods. So that could be something that when you go to the grocery store, when you're purchasing things for your family. So it's really good, like you said, to have a tariff-proof budget. Like I had suggested before, looking at your budget month to month, right? Maybe printing out your bank statement, going through and highlighting what are your expenses that don't change, your daycare, your mortgage or your rent, your car payment, looking at your income then, what's the difference of that? So what's your expense to your income? And those are gonna be what you can afford for your variable expenses. So things like your groceries, your electricity, and things like that. And now is a really also great time to look at local, maybe our local cooperatives or the farmers market or your local butchers, because those are going to be tax-proof things as well.
Okay.
I also recommend for folks to kind of a budget beater is to do a $1,000 emergency savings account. That's something that our financial coaches at Affinity Plus and a lot of other experts recommend. That way, if something comes up or you have an expense that you weren't maybe necessarily prepared for, it's not, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Maybe relying on high interest credit cards or having to borrow. You've got that safety net set aside for you and your family should these tariffs really affect your day-to-day.
Okay, well, great advice there. Definitely needed right now, so we really appreciate it. Thank you for being with us, Jamie.
Thanks so much.
All right, no problem. Stay with us. We're back right after this.